Hello, I'm Wayne Rice. I'm a member of the Etowah Valley Historical Society, and today is September 21st, 2014. And we're at the home of Red Summey, or Edward Summey, and Ann Summey here in Cartersville. I'm going to interview Red, who participated in the 5 major northern campaigns of Europe in World War II. Red, tell us how old you were when you were drafted, and tell us about the early days.
I was 18. Went up and registered March the 10th of 43, knowing I'll be out for 6 months or a year. But in April, I'm already gone. I'm in camp. 43. Then I went through basic training, and then the Louisiana maneuvers in 43. And then 44, I went on the beach in Normandy.
Okay, now tell us, when you left Cartersville, where did you go from here, and how did you get there?
Well, we got on a train, and we went to Camp Shanks, New York. And then we went from there and got on a boat. You go right out by the Statue of Liberty. Mm-hmm. Going to, well, we don't know where we're going. Because you don't know where you're at when you leave, and you don't know where you're going, and you don't know where you're at when you get there. Back them days, they didn't tell you, you don't know nothing. You just do what they say to do.
Where did you do your training?
Camp WWII, Texas. It's south of Brownwood. It was a no man's land down there. They didn't have the camp built. They was working on it. It was building the Camp WWII, Texas. They built several camps. Then during the war, where they could train guys. And I wound up down there.
All right, and what did you train for?
Well, I was trained. I was supposed to start with. They said I would be put in the tank battalion because there was a 4th Armored Division was there. But this guy saw me, and they was showing some wire how to tape communication line to get a telephone wire. And I taped some and laid it down. This guy was standing over there, and he walked up and said, "Hey, where'd you learn how to do this at?" And I said, "Well, I didn't know I knew how to do it." I said, "I just been working on cars, and I did taping." And he said, "What are you sent out here for?" I said, "They said I'd be put in the Armored Division." He said, "No, you won't never be in the Armored Division." So when it come after basic, and it come time to pick the man, I went with him. He picked me to go with him because he's a communication guy, and he knows it all ways. He's the best that's ever been, he said. And so he wanted to put me in communications. And I said, "Well," I said, I'll be as good or better than he is for it's over, because I want to learn how to do this." Mm-hmm. So I stayed with him, and we butted heads with some guys that couldn't be beat. And he told me, he said, "I'd like to beat that guy one time." And I said, "He's beat now." So we beat him. And that guy called him up and said, "I don't know how you done that, how you beat me." He said, "We never been beat before." And he said, "I didn't do it." He said, I got a boy," said, "he's the best that's ever been. He's the one that beat you."
I want you to explain to us now that the job you had and trained for was very dangerous. Explain exactly what you did.
Well, he put me in the telephone. He got a communication section, and we was in artillery. And put me headquarters matter. You got to have furnish the communications to fire the guns with. Mm-hmm. Can't just anybody do it. So you got to have somebody. You got an officer or liaison man. that goes up, and he knows how to send the far back, but she's got to have a telephone line, landline.
Mm-hmm.
Because they couldn't use radios in combat. The Germans jammed the radio. But we lay a telephone line.
Where would you lay it?
In France. I went ashore in France, Normandy, France.
All right, now like you're laying the phone line into enemy territory?
No, you lay it up so you can see the enemy.
But you're beyond you're beyond American lines, aren't you?
Well, you'll be up. Well, you got your infantry is your front line boys, but we have to go ahead of them with the line. See, and get where they can. You got what you call the liaison officer. He's the one that picks out the targets, and he can send he knows. See, you got to know where the gun is at. How the sound goes. You can pick it up, flash. They got the light. When it fires, they pick up the flash and the sound, and they can tell you where the gun's at that way. But they don't want to know it. But I have to furnish the communication telephone line to this guy so we can talk. So you be using it, and somebody will cut that that line in two. Probably a German, you know.
So basically, y'all were the point people. You were closer to the Germans than the American front lines were, weren't you?
Oh yeah. See, that's like this now. The guy standing there, the boys, is in the infantry. Now he's in the front line. Now he don't have to. He's got a hole dug to get in, which I don't have one, and I got to stay here. He don't, because he's just going to be there one night. Then he's gone for 2 or 3 weeks. But he has to come back to Noble, we called him. Before he comes back, and he said, you got to stay here. Well, I got to stay there because I got a line there, and I got the liaison officers there, and he's got to use it. See, and I got to I got another guy most time. He'd stay there with the phone.
Mm-hmm. Well, now tell us about when you, how long were you out there in training?
Well, you had 17 weeks basic training. Then you got to go in, that's just to get the basic. Everybody's got to have the basic. And then you got to be trained as if whatever you're going to do, then you got to be like an artilleryman or whatever you're going to be put in. And like I say, he put me in the artillery. Thought I was going in. Well, I had the paperwork. It said I'd be going into the tank battalion, but this captain said no. He's going to put me in the artillery, and I would be a communication guy, telephone lineman, lay telephone lines, and you have to lay them all the way. See, you got a guy that'll be way up yonder on top of a mountain somewhere. But he's got to have a telephone line up there.
Because he's seeing what the Germans are doing.
Yeah, he's watching the Germans.
That's a pretty dangerous job.
Pretty dangerous job. You'd be looking down the barrels of them German guns, see. That little boy went with us one night up there, and it's dark as a stack of blankets. You couldn't see from here to there, you know. And he was upset because, you got a bunch, like in that war, you got a bunch of guys that's upset. Their wife has done gone with somebody else, or their girlfriend's done messed up, and this boy's wife has done took off, and he'd got a letter, what do you call him, Dear John,
yeah.
You know, and he got that. He's standing here, and he lights him a cigarette. Well, that's just like turning on the floodlight up there where it's black dark, looking down the barrels of the German gun. So I knocked it out of his mouth. I said, man, you stupid. You were looking down the barrels of them guns out there, and you lighting a cigarette. And that thing makes a big blaze when being in the dark like that. He wasn't going to come with us no more. I said, hey, I know you're not coming with me no more. You're going to light cigarettes at night like this.
All right, now how did you get from the United States to, let's see, you went from here to England?
I went, on the Humanistus Tomaroy. What this is a old freighter boat. It hauled meat before the war from New Zealand to England. Meat boat. That ain't much of a boat to ride on. So you ride that thing 12 days and nights going across. And of course you got protection around it. They got subs and everything else, and everything's happening because the Germans are going to blow that thing up if they get close enough to it. And you ride that in, landed in England, and you get off of that, then you get on a train and they take you other places. This little funny thing has happened. We got off and you get on this train, and of course you got your Red Cross girls there. They always giving out donuts, you know. And so they come in and on the train and give out some donuts. And then had a guy there from he lived, one of our buddies. He lived in Illinois. He said, hey, said, get that donut up, pick that donut up. I said, what? He said, get that donut laying yonder. Well, she had dropped the donut. So I reached over and got that donut and picked it up, and I broke it half in two and handed him the other half, you know. Well, this Red Cross girl, she said, are you hungry? I said, no. I said, we was hungry a week ago or more. I said, but starvation just set in now. Them guys said, how you think all that stuff you tell? I said, I told her starvation just set in. She said, okay. She said, I'll go and bring a whole tray back for you then. She did. She got us a whole tray of donuts to eat.
Good. Now, the first major campaign was Normandy. Now, that was 70 years ago, over 70 years ago.
Yeah, June the 6th, 70 years ago. See, I could went over there. They called me, and that's to go over there. June the 6th of this year, when they had the 70th celebration. Mm-hmm. But I know where they got it, the information at, but see, I was there. I didn't go in D-Day.
Right.
And they thought I'd went in on the D-Day. I told her, I said, they was going to pick me up and take me over there. And I told her I didn't go in D-Day now. There was a mistake, some kind of mistake, and of 20 days. We didn't get to land to July, the 22nd. But and this guy that went in, it took to my place, he must have lied because it don't add up to what he said. Because he said he got the Sword Beach, as the British went landed on the Sword Beach. The Omaha Beach, the First Army landed on that beach. The Third Army landed on Utah Beach.
That's where you were.
That's where I went in, on Utah Beach. Well, this guy said he went in D-Day, the first day, on Utah Beach. Not so, because they didn't land on Utah Beach D-Day.
Right. Well, tell us about your experience of going across the channel to Utah Beach.
Well, you ride this old boat, and you can go in up here to get something to eat. And this is an old British boat. The British are running the thing. And you can go clean through the mess hall and never stop. It's so slick, greasy, all over the place. And we just quit going down there or something. I did. I didn't go. I didn't even go out to get me some candy bar or something to eat.
All right, now tell me about the shelling you said that night before you got there, and how it affected you. Was you afraid, or?
Well, yeah, he was afraid. You didn't know when you may go down, get blowed. That this old boat was on. And besides, see, when you get out there in the English Channel, you got to cross the channel, and something goes wrong. That they got to get the boat unloaded. We got to get us off of it. Well, what you got to do now, this takes guts, and plenty of it. You got to go up here. You go up here. Now they got another boat, a barge. Anyway, he comes back in here against this boat, and you got to jump. What do you know?
Mm-hmm.
You jump. Well, that boat that you jump, when you jump, he's not there yet. But this guy up here tells you when to jump. Well, hey, you jump. There was no boat down there. But this boat's supposed to get in here. It's supposed to be time that he gets in here and you're going to land on it. That's why I say it takes guts.
Did you land on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you don't know that till you
get there.
Get there.
Now,
then he gets that unloaded, and they back another one up. See, to get this boat unloaded, because this boat's broke down.
Now, how many days did you spend in combat?
Spent on the line, spent 186.
That was plenty enough.
186 days.
Okay.
Uh,
All right, now after you go into Utah Beach and y'all are set up there, the next major campaign was northern France. Tell us about the hedgerow fighting.
Well, yeah, they got you hedgerow. Well, that's another thing. So you don't know what's on the other side of the hedgerow. Mm-hmm. Getting over there. I got pulled out of the hedgerow pretty soon. I don't know what went wrong. Anyway, they pulled me out and sent me back to England. Then I had to come back again. But like I say, they got goof ups, mess ups, and this and that. And them guys, they showed on that movie Saving Private Ryan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you know, it's like that. Hey, that's the most sickening thing I ever seen. I said, you don't stick a gun in a man's ear. That's in the Army. You don't point a gun at a man. You don't stick it in his ear. When you point a gun, you intend to kill. Uh-huh. That's the only reason you point a gun at anybody, any kind of weapon. You intend to kill him. And they showed on there, they'd stick it in the ear. And I said, man, you don't stick no gun in no gear. I said, yeah, that's a no-no. And,
okay, after the northern France campaign, the Ardennes, which is a wooded plateau in northeast France, South Belgium, and Luxembourg, and that's where the Battle of the Bulge occurred. And you were right there at it. Tell us about that. The Ardennes.
Ardennes, where you got Normandy, northern France, you got the Ardennes, you got the Rhineland, and Central Europe.
Uh-huh.
That's your 5 campaigns. I was in all 5 of them. Now, see, really, there's not a Battle of the Bulge. Carl Newman, the war correspondent, that's what he called it at the end of it, but it's a battle of, my discharge, it's a battle of the Ardennes. Uh-huh. That's Ardennes. That's one of the campaigns, and we was in the Ardennes, and then he called it the Battle of the Budge. And that's the reason it stayed with him. But as far as being a Battle of the Budge, they wasn't a Battle of the Budge. Not named that over there. It was Ardennes.
Part of the Ardennes.
Ardennes.
Yeah.
See, we just like say it's Normandy, northern France, Ardennes,
Rhineland.
Rhineland in Central Europe. That's your 5 campaigns up north. Then you go down to the south there, you got some more campaigns. And I was up here with these, then I went down and fought with the 7th Army. See, Hitler come down there at the Battle of the North Winds. And we fought in the Battle of the North Winds. Now, Hitler brought the troops out of the North Winds up there. And he's supposed to whoop us. He's going to do away with us in the Battle of the North. They named it the Battle of the North Wind. Well, we fought the Battle of the North Winds, and there's no winners or no losers in the Battle of the North Winds. They just called it off.
That's good.
Because nobody couldn't win.
All right. At the Battle of the Bulge, or the battle in the Ardennes, but the part that they call the Bulge, where were you? What were you doing?
I laid the telephone lines for the field artillery. See, we had to have
Communications, right.
Communications.
Well, now, when did you realize y'all were being attacked by the Germans?
We first went on they was attacking all the time. See, there at the, at Normandy, that's big cemetery there. See, the first go around, we lost 9,000 dead there. That's just a part of it. That all this other bunch is buried there. They went back, they buried them there. Well, to start with, they was buried there, but they had little wooden crosses they stuck up, but then they got these marble kind now, you know.
All right,
then you go up, then you go off the beach there, then you go up in the line then. And I stayed in that line 186 days.
All right, after the Ardennes, tell us about the Rhineland campaign.
Well, that's down the Rhine River. See, I got a book with a picture in yonder. But you got the Rhine River. That's coming down the field, and they call that the Rhineland Sea. Well, you got a bridge here at Le Moggin Bridge. It goes across the Rhine River, and got across it. The first guy across the river there was a German.
German-American.
Yeah.
German-American soldier.
German-American soldier.
The first one to go across.
He's the first one that went across the bridge.
That's interesting.
And he had come to U.S. and got caught, and they put him in the U.S. Army. And he was the first one to cross the bridge.
Right. And then the Central Europe was the kind of ending of the war, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you had right this side of Berlin on the Autobahn. See, now Hitler was building that's the first superhighway that's built, coming out of Berlin, and it was supposed to, they was told, it's supposed to go all the way back across France to the Channel.
Yeah.
All the way back. So you're going to have a superhighway, and I call it an Autobahn. You can't patch it. Anything happens to it, they have to take that. So he built this road with forced labor, 2,000 to 3,000 forced labor be working out there. Didn't have equipment. They used pick and shovels. Dug it out so many inches, 18 inches, I believe, deep, and started laying the different stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
Now here, it won't bust, it won't crack. If it does, they won't patch it. They take that whole section of that road up and rebuild it, re-put it back, because it won't no bump on it at all.
All right, now tell me about Buchenwald, the concentration camp.
Well, see, Buchenwald, they built ball bearings. They had forced labor there. You go to Buchenwald, the Jews and them, they'd take them down there, and you put up here, then you come down where you built ball bearings, and you worked there till you got, well, they didn't feed them too much, till you got where you couldn't work. Then you got a chute that you come down. Then you're supposed to be dead when you get down to go in the cremator. Well, if you ain't dead when you get down here, you got a guy standing there with a big old ball bat, I call it, made like a ball bat. He's there, he's one that whops you in the head. He finishes you up.
You saw the ovens?
Yeah, I got pictures of them.
So you actually saw where they killed, and so the Holocaust, you pretty well witnessed that, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, they had a cremated. They killed over 250,000 people there. Now then you got the other place up there. This is Buchenwald down here. You got Northhausen.
Okay.
Now Northhausen is where they built V1 and 2 bombs at. And
is this where they built the rockets also?
Yeah, they built rockets up there to shoot them to England.
Mm-hmm.
They were still on the launching pad when we took them there, but we had to give that part up to the Russians.
So
Some reason or other.
Politics.
Yeah.
So you actually saw rockets before just about anybody else did then, because they were almost unknown up to that time.
Yeah, they was on the thing out there where they were shooting them. Now, where they built this thing, where this building them at, it was built so you can't get in. It's built in a mountain, and you can't fly in there with a plane, because with the planes we had at that time, we had no plane that you want to fly in there and skid bomb that door. But the problem is, you got to get up above the mountain, and we had nothing that could go in there close enough to skid bomb it, and then climb that and miss the mountain. See, couldn't do it. It was at that time, and then they had the rockets out here on the ramps where they're shooting them at. So they'd come over at night, and they got a little old motor sits back there on the back. It's always running, and it's carrying the rockets. They run about 400 and something miles an hour. They outrun them. The planes couldn't catch them. They shoot them down. So they send them over every night. And there was one of them messed up one night. One of was coming over. Every night they'd come over. Here they about 11 o'clock. Here they'd start coming, going to England, shooting them at England. There's one got off course or something. Anyway, he went to a little old village there, and he just blowed the whole thing away. It's a big.
One of the more interesting stories you've told me was about the recovery of gold and jewelry that the Nazis had stolen from the Jews and gold teeth, and how you and a few other soldiers went to retrieve that. Now, tell us about that. That's interesting.
That was, see, there's two rivers comes down through there, and it goes into one. Now, on this left side, that's where the Battle of the North Winds was supposed to have been fought. So they called it off. Then it's on the other side. Well, down there there's a building. And he told them, we had went down there to help them out a little bit from the Ardennes, and was fixing to go back to the Ardennes. Then this guy, they told me, and said, then there's a building down there. He says, and this is an Indian guy from out west. Said, I don't know all these guys. I never seen them before. He said, you and him, this Indians, is going to go down there to that building and get the Germans out. Well, that's a bad deal. Well, this Indian, he don't go, but they said, no, this other boy's going to go with you. He's in the engineers here. And I told that guy, I said, hey, we don't have the equipment to go down there. I said, them Germans all got burp guns. They cut you half in two in a split second. They got burp guns. We don't have a burp gun, can't get one. All we got is a little old carbine like I got in here. Boom, 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 you know. I said, that ain't no match for a burp gun. But orders is orders.
So you went anyway.
You got to go, because I told him, I said, well, I'll tell you what to do. And I don't know this guy, you know. I said, we'll crawl down there in the morning before daylight. Well, I said, we'll crawl down there in the morning. We did. We crawled down there and got down there into the building and looked around. The doors, there's a door about that, like, open about that much, you know. Now we were sitting there debating what to do. Didn't know what we're going to do. We don't know yet. I said, well, we fooled around. I said, I'll tell you what, I think I'll throw this big hand grenade in there. See what happens. So I pitched the old big hand grenade in there, and it goes off. And we figured, well, we'll have Germans running out of ears. Well, nothing happens. Nobody comes out. So I said, well, let's see what's going on. Pushed the door on open. We got 4 dead Germans there. 4 dead Germans. Now, these is Hitler's boys that wears a black suit. They handle the stuff that you talking about. They're there. Well, I killed them 4. They were. So here's all this diamonds, gold, silver, all that was there. So me and this boy, we got it. We had to make, when we took it back up, we had to make 2 trips to carry it up. So couldn't find nobody knowed what to do. And I said, okay. There's a World War I foxholes there on the other side. So I go down in that foxhole there, and I dig this grass out of the bottom of it, lay it up here, and I put this stuff down in that hole and covered it up. And it stays there from 45 to 04.
204.
Yeah, 04.
Well, tell us how they found it. Tell us about that.
04. Well, they had a meeting up where the Jews did, up in the New England states. And they talked to a guy up there, and they was wanting to know, they was trying, what happened to their wealth? Where's it at? What happened to it? And my wife, Ann, she had the Reader's Digest. Her sister, Janola, was over in Rome in the hospital. She's leaving and said, you might ought to look at this. Just asking about where that was at. I told Ann, I said, hey, I know where it's at.
This was 2004 now.
2004. I said, I know where it's at. But see, the boy was with me. He was killed. There's only 2 that knew where it was at. And this other boy was killed in 45, the one that helped me get it up there. Well, he don't talk, you know. The other boy, I'm the only one living that knew anything about it. Well, they run it, and it told who to call, number, give a number, that if you knew anything. And they come up with something here a while back. Wayne Martin over there said, you need to look at this. It's come out with it. It tells where the Jews' money was at. I said, no, that ain't right. The Jews' money. I said, I'm the one that had the Jews' money. That ain't where it was at. They said it was somewhere else. I said, that ain't where it was at. I said, I'm the one that had the Jews' money. So anyway, so I called this guy and told him where it was at. So he couldn't get in. They wouldn't let him in to start with. Some reason, anyway, some reason or other. So he finally changed his name or something to something else, and they let him come in. And he built a truck to go up the mountain to haul us out with, and he had a plane down here at the airport, destination unknown on it. Now what happened to it? He was supposed to guide it. This guy, I don't know what happened to it after that. But I don't know, there was a bunch of stuff in there, of gold, silver, diamonds, and everything else. And but like I say, this other guy was killed. He was in the engineers there. I never even knew that boy's name because we went down there to get it. Well, we didn't know what was doing. We just went down there. They said Germans in that building down there. That's what we went down there for, to see about getting the Germans out of that building. But they wound up killing the 4 Germans. It was there. And then they just wanted to have all this loot there with them, you know.
So you don't really know if the Jews ever got their gold, do you?
I don't know. But this guy, they were supposed to got it.
Well, did they?
But did he? I don't know that.
Well, did they ever thank you for telling where it was, or?
No, that was my mistake. I should have said, I'll tell you where it's at. I have to have $1 million to start with.
You might have had a point there.
That's what I told him. Now I should have said, I'll tell you for $1 million up front, because there's a bunch of trillions of dollars there.
Yeah.
Or more, they say that it was in there. I don't know. It's all see, Hitler took everything from the Jews.
Mm-hmm.
All their gold, even pulled their teeth out.
Yeah.
He had gold teeth, they come out. He had all the gold, the silver, all the diamonds, and had big old diamonds that big, gold, all.
Mm-hmm.
And but that was all their wealth.
Well, now, where were you when the war ended?
I mean, over there.
Yeah.
I was on the superhighway, the Autobahn, probably about 40 miles or less or something like that from Berlin. See, we couldn't go to Berlin. We had to go this way. We had to let Russian took that part of Berlin.
Uh-huh.
See, and we met the Russians on the Autobahn there.
And all right, now when were you discharged? When did you get out of the Army?
Christmas Day of 45.
So you was in another year. All right, now you brought back some items after the war. We might want to look at those. All right, the coat over here, that's the actual uniform that you wore during World War II, right?
Yeah. See, this jacket here, we used to have a long blouse, they call it. Eisenhower made this jacket.
Uh-huh.
And he give us this jacket. This is one of the first one I got, only one I ever had. He give us this. That's Ike jacket. It's short.
Uh-huh.
That's the kind he was wearing.
And you still wear that today, don't you?
Yeah, I can still wear it. See, they get now.
That's 70 years old, is well built.
Yeah. That's all my campaign stars right here and stuff. Now you wear that in 100-degree weather, stand in line with 2,000 guys ahead of you.
Show us the Nazi flag you brought back and tell us the history behind that.
Yeah, this old Nazi flag, there's two flags. Two of these flags. They come off the Saar River in Germany.
Uh-huh.
And
there's only two of them? Only two of them?
There's only two of them. Now this other one is it's Phoenix City. Now it showed up. The other one out there recently, it showed up out there, but it's got names on it,
mm-hmm.
and everybody, well not everybody, but it's got about 25 names on it that we signed. Well, when I signed my name on it, I put Cartersville, Georgia right under it. Nobody else did that. Then when this flag shows up out yonder, that's when they found me.
Wanting your flag?
Well, they just want to know about the flags.
Oh.
They want to know where it come from. And I told them, and then they wanted to pick this flag. Well, mine up. I won't let them have it.
I figured you wouldn't.
See, I wouldn't let them have it.
So that's an actual Nazi battle flag that you brought back.
Yeah, it's it. There's only two of them. And this other one's out yonder in Phoenix City, the little town down there somewhere.
Well, that's some souvenir. That's neat.
And this guy called me about this, and they wanted to have it picked up. I told him, no, he wasn't going to pick it up. And he said that he was going to be gone he was going to Germany to be gone a year. And I told him they couldn't have my flag.
No, I don't blame you.
There's one out there. It's come right over the German, let's see. I got some more stuff. Yeah.
All right, sit down here. Oh, you gonna show us some pictures?
Yeah. Now here's the cremators.
Uh-huh. You wanna look at those?
That's some of your cremators.
You see it? You made these pictures?
Yeah. There's another guy that we had a guy. We had a guy that he didn't do anything. He didn't really have a job.
He's just in an army.
He just in the army, and he was a salesman. You know, used to be salesmen come by your business and sell you paper, pencils and all this kind of stuff to give out, and that's what he done. And that's a Shell service station. It's right the other side of the Rhine River Bridge.
Can you pick? Well, Red, you sure have a lot of history right here, and I want to say that I appreciate, and I'm sure everybody in Bartow County does, that as a young man you went over there to give your all for the freedom of your country, and I appreciate that. Is there anything else you want to tell us about the war experience before we conclude?
Here's Oh yeah, go see. That's a
Is that one of them rockets?
no, that's a plane. That's a ME-109. This plane here is the best plane that was built in World War II.
Uh-huh.
We had the P-38s, the 51, had the Mustang and the 61, but they can't handle the ME-109.
Right.
Now when them gets after, when the ME-109 gets after one of our planes, this airplane, he comes down. He's wanting somebody down on the ground to get him off of him. Shoot him out.
Okay. Well, I want you to share with us before we leave. As you were going into Utah Beach, share with us what you said to yourself about today you'd die.
Well, that's what you figure. I said, today you're going to die.
So you really felt that going in?
Oh, yeah. When I went on the beach, I said, well, it means you done lost all these thousands of guys. I mean, they laying in the water all around through there, too. And the first, they lost first day or less than the first day. The first wave it went in, 9,000 was killed. I mean, that's a bunch of men then, but there's 100 and something thousand, more than that, about over 100,000 buried there that died on the beach. When you go in there, see, you ain't going back this way. So this boat that you go in there on the ship, it's sitting on dry sand. Now, it ain't moving on dry sand. The water's out there. You ain't going back that way because you can't get to swim the channel or something. Now, your next place to go, you got to go this way. Well, the Germans going to kill you going that way. But that's where we had to go. Go in the line, stayed up there 186 days.
So you actually felt you was going to die that day?
Oh, yeah. Well, I said to myself, the day you will die.
Well, now, some time past you said something about y'all were so afraid you sweated blood.
Sweat blood. Yeah.
That's
You see, you get scared so bad, your heart beats so fast that the blood comes through your skin.
And you experienced that?
Yeah. That's scared, buddy.
That's scared.
Because you know, when you know you're going to die, there ain't no way out. You say there ain't no way out. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die now. This is it. Well, when you know you're gonna die, then you're scared, and your heart gets running away with you. And I said, "Hey, I'm cold." I said, "I'm sweating." The medics looked. He said, "No, that's blood coming through."
That must be one more horrible experience, and experienced by our GIs that went through that.
Yeah, these German planes, see, they was making the circle. Then we didn't have the jets and all that, but see, when they come over, you can see the bombs. You looking at the bombs are coming out of the door. He'll open that door, and then the bomb starts throwing bombs out. And here you laying on the top of the ground right where them bombs is coming down at. Well, hey, what you gonna do? You can't stop them. I mean, he's throwing them everywhere. Like my captain said, he said that and dropped one. It had 15 little ones before it hit the ground.
Goodness gracious.
So about that, then that's when you, like I say, you're scared. Your heart beats. And you know you're going to die. Just going to die anyway. You know, this is it. And it's a beating, and that blood comes through your skin.
Well, fortunately, you lived through it to tell about it.
Yeah.
A lot of them didn't, but we appreciate very much
there's
your sacrifice.
There's a lot didn't make it.
Thank you very much, Red, for allowing us to come and interview you. And this, to me, this is a historical moment. and God bless you, and I hope you live many more years as good a health you are now.
Yeah, them old bones hanging at the bottom have been burning out of old cremators. Yeah, that war was something else. It's only one. It's the worst that the U.S. Army ever fought. They say in one, the greatest battle.
Well, thank you again, Red.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you again.
appreciate y'all coming by.